folks, welcome to another episode of the Lemonade Podcast. Here at the Lemonade Podcast, we go by the saying, when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade. I'm your host, Frank. With that, we also hope to inspire, encourage, and empower those of you tuning in. Not only that, but also our guest. And today's guest is Mr. Tim Parker.
Hey,
welcome to the show.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, of course. No, we appreciate you having us here. We are at Chula Vista Brewery here in Eastlake. How long have you guys been here?
We've been here in Eastlake, 7, 8 months?
Okay.
But we've been open for 5 years on 3rd Avenue.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Are you from San Diego?
I'm actually originally from Chicago.
Okay. And I know that, so then San Diego being a military town, that's what brought you?
Right. So, obviously, I joined the Navy in, 99?
Okay.
I was stationed in San Diego my whole career.
Oh, nice.
So, other than boot camp in Pensacola.
Okay.
So they brought me out here. Obviously, I lived here at this point, I've been living here longer than Chicago.
Okay.
I've been living in, I first lived downtown, and then I met who is now my wife, Dali, who lived in Chula Vista. So obviously, I moved to Chula Vista, and I've been here ever since.
Hey, nice. And your wife, she's also part of the business, correct?
Correct. She's 51% of the vote.
There you go.
And
veto, got it.
Right. And she's probably the most important part of the business.
Of course.
To be honest.
Yeah, man. Has she been with the business as long as you've had it as well?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So she's been with me since the start. It's just me and her that owns it.
Okay.
So we don't have any silent investors other than the bank. We do owe the bank money.
Right.
But we don't. It's just
not for
me
long.
and right. Not for long.
Not for long, and then it's all yours. No, that's great.
Exactly.
I love it. That's the partnership that you have not only in your relationship but also the business. That's awesome. So like we talked about before we went into the episode, and also as everybody should know by now that listens, we go by the saying, when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade. Chula Vista Brewery being one of your biggest lemonade that you've made, in life, I'm guessing. The other thing is too, I know that you have multiple locations.
Correct. So this is the second location, and the first location is downtown 3rd Avenue.
Okay, so anybody downtown 3rd Avenue, if you want to throw the address out, let me know.
294 3rd Avenue.
All right.
It's right on the corner of 3rd and F.
Dope. Okay. Yeah. I know that Matt and Christina, I believe they've gone to that location on 3rd Avenue. Yeah. Oh, they like it. They like beer, a lot of beer. So
cool. They're
happy to be here. The only one missing out is Mike. Mike is he's our, what do we call him? Our social media manager.
All right.
Yeah, Mike, and I'm sure he's really sad right now. So Mike, this one goes out to you.
All right.
Anyway, so tell me a little bit about once you got to, you were in the Navy, you were out here. Was brewing something that you kind of had the whole time in mind when you?
I wouldn't say necessarily brewing. So
okay. And pardon my terminology because I'm still.
Oh no, it's cool. I'm trying to think of where I want to start from.
Okay, yeah.
So how far back I want to go. So in my younger days, I always think I was kind of an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to try things.
Yep.
So I was always trying to buy real estate or trying something. I was always trying something.
Definitely.
And I always wanted to, especially in my younger days, I always wanted a club.
Okay.
So it really transitioned as I got older. So I started off, I always wanted a nightclub. Mm-hmm. But obviously, if you think about that was my single days. And then as I got older,
we don't want to talk about the single days. We're good.
As I got older, and I started going, just to the bar. Then I wanted to own a bar, just to, like a dive bar.
Okay.
Then once I got into making craft beer and love craft beer, that's when it rolled into, what, I think I wanted to own.
You honed in. Yeah, right. Okay.
So, and that's kind of how it evolved. So it was always there in the back of my head.
Gotcha.
It just didn't really manifest until I started really got into craft beer and then looking to retire out of the Navy.
Nice.
That it was it all finally came together. What I really wanted to do when I grew up.
From the club, single days, which we won't talk about,
right?
And then onto more, a bar, and then onto honing in on that. That's craft,
right.
The craft. That's dope. Yeah. And as far as when you got your first location, what was the process with that? Was it tough? Was it a little bit easier, the transition? Especially coming out of the Navy. I'm sorry, how long did you serve?
I turned 20 years in
20
6
years.
days.
All right, well, congratulations. There you go. You got to count the 6 days.
Exactly, you got to count those 6
They'll
days.
count it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And just
thank
real
you for
quick,
your service.
Oh,
by
no,
the way.
thank you. And thanks to, everyone out there currently serving and the veterans out there that have served as well. So, yeah. So, 20 years and 6 days you served, got out. Fast forward to the first location, which is you said on 3rd, right?
Yep.
What was the process with that?
So to answer the first part of that question, where you actually was it hard or easy?
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit of both.
Yes.
So you don't find out how easy it is until
You're doing it.
you get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you start doing it, okay. Oh, this is easy.
Or then it was easy, but trying to figure out the process to getting it done is hard.
Yes.
Trying to figure out, how, what license do I remember we opened up and we were still missing licenses, and then I got a call from the government like, yo, you need this, you need this, like you need a seller's permit. I'm like, well, I got this ABC license. What more do you need?
Right. Ask for forgiveness.
So, right.
Not
Well,
for
they gonna let you know.
Right.
But there's not really like you go to the website and you go look up what you need for a brewery license.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you it tell you, hey, you need your ABC permit, but don't tell you need your seller's permit.
Yep.
You need the city council license. You need some other license.
Yeah.
You need
Everything under the
It's
sun.
101 different licenses.
But they don't tell.
Lord, right? They don't tell you. Lord knows if you got security alarm system, you need a license for that.
Oh man, everything.
Like so, it's all the little things that you find out. The hard way.
Yeah.
It's not an easy way.
Yeah, but I like what you said. Going into it, until you do it, it's hard. But once you start the process, you're taking those steps, And I think just alone with this podcast itself for us has been that. Like we were thinking about it, and at times I felt a little overwhelmed because I was like, oh, it takes so much, but it really didn't. And you just kind of have to give yourself that push.
It's all mental.
Oh no,
it's
definitely
mental.
is.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
It's all mental. And like I said in the beginning, it seemed very hard, and
Yes.
it seems overwhelming, and you stressing about, where I'm gonna get the money from, how I'm gonna get this done, and the reality is, you shouldn't stress about none of that. Like, we didn't have any money when we started.
Right. Right.
We
No,
just figured out, all right, how we gonna get this money.
Right.
And you start looking for it.
Exactly. And there's money out there.
Yeah,
There
there's
is.
money out there. I mean, like I said, I know we don't have any investors and stuff, but there's multiple different ways you can get it. Like I've always tell people, if you go, every brewery got a different path that they took to open up their brewery.
Definitely.
Some of them got a bunch of different investors. Some of them got a bank loan like me. Some of them just a group of investors. They all friends, but
Got it. Yeah,
they
all
still
pitched in.
They all
Yeah.
pitched in. It's a bunch of different ways you can access or tap into it. You just got to figure out what's the best way for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just taking that step. Once you go into it, you'll start finding out those things. You get the information. You start knowing what you didn't know.
Right.
And you gain the knowledge. And I feel like.
But you said, not to stop you, but you said one of the most important things,
Yes.
that you take the step and go do it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people fail at. They don't. They have this great idea, but they don't put anything into motion.
Exactly.
For every action, there's an opposite equal reaction.
Yes.
So if you do nothing will happen.
Nothing, exactly.
So
Yeah, because here's the thing. One of the things, too, and I've been guilty of this, is, and I know a lot of people as well, but it's like, you're scared. You're scared to do this. You have this idea, you're scared to go ahead and do it. The thing is, regardless, you're going to be scared whether you do it or you don't. So if you do it, go in with the fear, because at the end of the day, at least you tried. You know what I mean? And you don't know if you don't, what you don't know until you take the step, start putting things in motion, like you said, and walk that path. And by the end of the day, when you look back, you're like, oh, that was a whole path that I walked, and I got here. I got to where I wanted to be, or at least what I envisioned, opposed to still being in that same place. And you're like, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it goes with anything in life. And that's one of the biggest things that I would say, preach here at the Lemonade Podcast, is going after yours. Really finding that one thing, if not multiple things, but finding that one thing that really burns a, fire within. Go after it. Do whatever you feel you need to. If you need a community for it, great. If you need just yourself, but take the step so that way you can, have all something
right
like this in your own vision.
And like you said, I think another important thing is doing something that you like and enjoy.
Definitely.
You don't want to be stuck doing something that you don't enjoy, because you're just gonna burn yourself out doing it, and eventually it could probably fail.
Yes.
You know, I always tell people, don't chase the money, chase the happiness, and allow the money to come.
Yeah, it will one way or another. But if you're focused on the money itself, when you do get the money and the money runs out, then what do you look forward to? You know what I mean? So don't, like you said, chase the happiness, chase what really builds that within. And that's what I tell the team as well. We all know none of us get paid for any of this,
right?
But it's fun. It's fun to have a conversation with the likes of people like you, veterans, everybody that under the sun, creatives, artists. I get to have, and this is selflessly, I get to have a conversation with these people where otherwise I wouldn't. But one of the biggest things is we get to allow people to use this platform, as big or small as it may be right now, to tell their story, talk about the lemons and the lemonade that they're making, and in hopes that, once again, we hope to encourage, inspire, and empower those people to continue to go after theirs and to build whatever it is that, once again, that makes them happy, in life. And I feel like that right there would just allow for life to be just a little bit easier, because life is going to happen. We just have to be a participant in life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you kind of bring me to another segue
Yes,
of something you said is you talking to people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize you got to get out your comfort zone and talk to people.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And that's even once you make it successful, you still got to go talk to people.
You do.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
So you got to constantly get out, talk to different people, see what's going on, stay in touch, especially in this line of work where you have to stay in touch. You have new clientele every year. Every time somebody turns 21, that's a new customer.
I mean,
so you have to stay in touch to what they look for, what they like.
Yes.
They taste buds is going to be different than somebody who's 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
Buds. So
somebody who knows what they're doing with the beer.
Right. You have to get out your comfort zone. Yeah. So one of the things I had to do was, I used to not talk to people. If I didn't know you, I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah.
I just look at you silently, like, why you even talking to me? So one of the things I had to do was get out of my comfort zone. I remember open up the brewery and go talk to people I didn't know, and ask them questions. Yeah. So I would just walk into breweries and ask them questions.
Yeah.
I would just walk into different businesses and ask them questions, like, how is this block? Some people was great.
Okay.
I learned two things. I learned what type of business I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Because I remember those businesses. I remember walking into some businesses. Like I walked into one place. It was a family-owned business. They was like, "Do you know who we are?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I walked in here."
Of course, yeah.
And they was like, "Well, we're a family-owned business. We've been open for yada yada yada." He put his hand on my back, and walked me to the door.
Wow.
And it was like, "Well, that was pretty rude."
It was, because what if you were a customer too?
Right. I mean, I think it's funny because down the line they've been asking me for my beer, and I told them no. It was like, it's not that I don't want to sell them my beer. It's just they doesn't represent the culture that I.
Yes, that tells a lot.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it's like I want my beer to wherever it's at to represent me wherever it's at. The quality, the standards, and that family that we gonna take care of. We gonna take care of everybody.
I like that.
And you know what I'm saying. And if you don't follow that roadmap, I think it's mutually respectable that we shouldn't work with each other.
Definitely.
And when people come into my business and ask me questions, I'm pretty much an open door policy until you tell me to close the door on you.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to help everybody because I remember that person that didn't help me. You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to never be that person.
Right.
So, but I had to get out of my comfort zone and go talk to these people. And there was some businesses that helped me out a lot. I remember some business was like, yo, come to the back, take me in the back, put up their computer, show me all the numbers, show me foot traffic that they have. Yeah. They showed me everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I went back and put all that information I needed back into my business plan and helped me, drive forward. So,
do you have an idea, or maybe, I don't know, I guess an idea as to why these people felt like they didn't want to help? You have to stay positive when you're in business. But that doesn't mean everybody around you is positive. You get what I'm saying? So you got a lot of people that don't want to see other people be successful. Yeah. And you got a lot of people that, believe in, hey, that's success for everybody. There's enough money around for everybody. Yeah.
You know, so you want to surround yourself by those people who believe in,
Yeah.
you know, hey, we all can prosper together.
Definitely, yeah.
And that carries all the way down to the bottom line, you know.
Right.
But if you put out a lot of negative energy, I believe that negative energy gonna come back to you.
Yeah,
So
it can,
people just
definitely.
are who they are, and a lot of times you see it too often in business. Maybe because that's what they see on TV. I don't know, but.
Yeah.
But when you peel back the curtain, the most successful people is all good people who really want to share their knowledge and really want to give it to those who really, who really want it.
Yeah,
you do
definitely.
have to learn to, like my wife had to teach me this, because before, you know, you walk in, I sit down with everybody hours at a time.
Okay.
But they never do anything with it. So now I learned, you know, ask the right questions, kind of send them what people did to me. You know, I remember people would tell me, hey, go do this. And then if I didn't do it, they never answered any other question after that again.
Well, it makes sense because you're
You
asking
know?
for my
luckily
advice.
for me, I did it, though.
Yeah, no, it's good because a lot of people ask for almost like, hey, tell me what I want to hear. And it's
Right.
like, I could, but it's not really going to help you.
Exactly.
Let me tell you what you do need to hear, what you do need, and then execute. But if you're just going to talk to me and not take my advice and act upon it, then why am I here
Right,
talking to you?
so-
I'm really wasting my time.
A lot of things I started doing was putting out like little fillers, like, hey, go do this. And then if they come back to me and say this was done, all right, we'll move to a next step.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and then if they come back to me, first question I ask, did you get this done? All right, well, there's nothing more to talk about.
Okay. Yeah. I was like,
It's because of, you know, my time. I feel my time is precious. You know, like,
yes,
you
it is.
know,
It's the highest
that
commodity.
time that I'm giving you, this whole hour, so I'm giving you.
Yeah.
I could have gave it to my wife and kids, or
Definitely. The
into
business,
my business.
yourself.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
I'm stopping to give it to you. So
Right.
it's not that I want to give it to you, but let's make sure that you're gonna use it. You know, versus I'm just want to, you know, not use it and just go off into.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
No, that's
Right.
plain and simple. Yeah, don't
Right.
waste the time. It's, you know, the highest commodity we have, you know, because money, all that, you can get it back.
Yeah.
Time you
Time
cannot.
you cannot.
Just,
Yeah,
you know,
not-
and we do appreciate you having us here.
All right.
You know, we appreciate your time. Real quick, we want to just touch up on your beer. Tell us a little bit about it.
So right here on the table we got Warplanes, the Wadita, which is our house beers, and then we got Operation Overlord.
Yes, sir.
So Operation Overlord is actually one done with Donnie Edwards.
Okay.
He's from a local Chula Vista. He spent, don't quote me on this, 15 years in the NFL.
Oh,
He played with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's a Pro Bowler too.
Okay. There you
And I don't
Throwing
want to
out
say
stats.
this. I don't want to say this, but he played with the Chargers as well. I'm sorry,
hold
Donnie.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, Donnie.
What do you mean you don't want to say this?
That's just me.
Okay.
Me and Donnie like to badger back and forth, so
All right.
I'm not
We're
about to just.
we're not gonna
I'm
get into it.
Donnie already know I'm driving the
No.
bus, no matter what.
All right. There we go. No, good. Shout
So,
out
but
Donnie.
yeah, so Donnie's a really good dude. He run the Best Defense Foundation, really good program. He take World War II veterans and fly them all over the world.
Nice. All right.
So this is the beer we make every year with him. We try to make 2 beers a year. This is the one we do every Memorial Day,
Oh,
and
there you
then the second one we do out the year is usually something new and something different.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So right now we got to think of what we're gonna come up with, because
we got
the
the
last
lemon.
one we came out was last December. December's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
Everything just flies by.
the Wadita is our house beer.
Yeah.
That pretty much is just our house beer. It's what pays the bills, is what I
There you
like
go.
to say.
No, Güerita. Yeah. It was
And
funny
then-
because I just told Elise, I was like, oh, look, that's your beer.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, shout out to Elise. You might get a picture of her, but
All right.
she's the one who,
Well, at least
let us know.
she carried many names, many titles around here.
No, yeah.
So
She's jack of all trades.
yeah, so I call her mini boss.
Oh, yeah.
Some people call her the debt collector.
Just depending on which side of the spectrum you're in.
Yeah. So she's a good. She's the other 40% of the vote, and I
There
get
you
the small 10.
Yeah.
So things got to go through Dali,
Yeah.
and then Elise,
Yeah.
and
And then it's you.
Maybe me.
You're the
maybe
face.
me. Yeah,
the
maybe.
face.
I'm just a face. Yeah.
Just wait, that's cool.
So
That's okay. That's
it's
all right.
really dumb. And then I got Warplane. So Warplane was actually made with a good friends of mine. They started a company where they make wood boards, like custom wood. And, I want to call them planks, but like surfboards and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So it's basically custom. So you got to order it, and it's made
Nice.
specifically for you.
That's
it's a
dope.
wooden surfboard.
Yeah. All right.
but they call their company Warplanes. So we made the beer after them. We got the information on the side where you can find them on their Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
One of them is still active duty. The two of them finally retired.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I was in the Navy when I'm doing search and rescue, and it's good that they doing their thing, and I wanted to help support them any way I can. So,
of course, yeah.
This was supposed to have been a one and done beer, but it became so popular that we just kept it around. The guys at Warplane ain't complaining because we just keep pushing out.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
No, it's good. It's good to have those people.
Yeah,
you know, help, like you said, help those people out and shout them out and stuff. That's dope. Well, yeah, man, that's good stuff. I dig the beer. I don't know what this is.
It looked like maybe an IPA, a honey. All right, cool. Yeah,
I don't know much about beer.
All right.
I have my certain preference, but this one's good. It's not too crazy for me, for my taste buds. Matt would know better. Christina would know better.
I know what Matt got to say. I could tell from the color what Matt got.
Yeah.
So Matt got
he likes his
raspberry wheat. Yeah.
His sours. Oh,
sours.
I'm not a
all
fan.
right, cool.
No, he likes the sours. So
I don't drink it. I could drink. I like sours, but I can only drink like one sour at a time.
Yeah, I think the one sour I had was like super sour, and I was like, it got me like right back here, and I was like, I'm good. Yeah. So, anyhow, we usually do have a question, and I don't know if it would be appropriate because you are married. Now, it's nothing offensive or anything offensive to your wife, but it's just usually we throw this like quirky, funny, off the
go for it.
Question.
I before I met my wife, I was a player.
All right. Okay. So shout out to your wife. I'm sorry. What was her name again?
Dali.
Dali. All right, Dali. Shout out to you for being the 51% of
right.
You know,
she's very
here.
yeah.
Real quick though, how long have you guys been together?
Oh, we've been together almost 20 years.
20 years? Okay, so just as long as you've been in you were in the Navy, or did you meet her soon after that?
Well, I've been out the Navy for a while now. So I met her in, I want to say 2002.
Okay, so not...
It took me a long time to date her, though.
Oh.
So she wouldn't date me. It took like 6.
She wouldn't date you?
Yeah,
okay.
So...
That's your player. That's
like I said, I was living downtown. I was loving life.
Okay.
And...
like, nope.
You got two sides of the story. I didn't know she was stalking me, but she was stalking me.
All right.
And
Dolly.
So she said she was waiting out of the club for me one night, and I walked out with other people.
Dolly, we're gonna have to.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. But she was stalking me, and then she kept showing up in all the clubs that I was at. Now remember, I live downtown.
Yeah.
So I
This is your truth.
Right. That's my truth.
Yeah, we're sticking to it.
So finally, I kept, trying to talk to her, and she would stand me up on a date too.
Okay.
Like we would say, hey, we go out, and then she'd stand me up, and then show up at the same club that you. Now I went to the same watering holes. I was a creature, and like, look, you knew I was gonna blue.
Yeah.
To this day, I knew my routine.
Yeah. Okay.
I was at the Blue Tattoo Sunday. I was at Henry Pub on Monday.
Okay.
I took Tuesdays. There was no Taco Tuesdays back then, really. Taco Tuesdays still kind of new in like the later 2000s, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always Taco Tuesday. For
right.
Me. You know what I mean?
But in the early 2000s, there was no Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
There was no place to party on Tuesdays,
yeah.
right? So Wednesday I would go to Ole Madres. Thursday I was back at Blue Tattoo. Friday, Saturday, whichever was popping the most.
Okay,
I was there.
Nice.
She knew where I was hanging out at, and she would pop up in those places.
So she was stalking.
She was stalking me.
She was stalking.
She was
Dolly the
stalking.
stalker. All right. Well, we may have to get her side of the story. I was gonna say that.
I put mine out first, so mine's is the truth.
Okay, so all right.
Right.
There you go. We have the truth here.
So
I think the question was, we'll let Matt ask. Yes. And then you revised it, which was dope. I like his question was a little more specific. He says, "I need you to hone in on the question." So I was like, "All right, cool." But yeah, all right. So,
if you had two heads and you were on a blind date, how would you introduce yourself?
I had two heads.
Yeah. If you had two heads, if you were on a blind date, how would you introduce yourself? Yeah. Yeah, we got this is our segment.
All right.
I have a lot of questions about this one. I got into a whole debate with.
Oh, I just say, hey, thank you for coming out on this double date. You know, this is Tim and Parker T, I guess. A triple. I guess a triple
Who's the
date.
third
Yeah.
wheel?
That's a good question. I guess the third wheel would be
Her.
Yeah, I guess she would be the third wheel, yeah. Because
or him.
obviously me and the other head can't separate, so.
Yeah, you have to. Sure, sometimes you wish. My question was actually, if you had two heads, what would be your biggest dilemma? Which Mad was saying that he'd have to have it. Yeah, but he was like, "Oh,
I got all types of stupidness in my head right now.
Yeah, and he was just like having another.
Like, what do you mean by two heads?
Yeah,
but
what's my face? Be like, well, it's the head because it talks.
right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, the biggest dilemma was for Matt was just trying to find.
I mean, who gets to kiss the girl? If you ever get a kiss. I mean, think about it. Or do she kiss them both?
And what if she like one head better than the other?
That's a very
the
interesting.
one that's that's. Whoa!
Exactly.
We're wearing blindfold. See, we could go into it really deep.
You could go on really deep.
Yeah. She has a sister.
So obviously,
brother.
It sounds like one of the heads need to be decapitated.
Something needs to happen. Well, Tim, thank you again for being here, for having us here at the Chula Vista Brewery in Eastlake. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy and for your story.
All right.
Appreciate you. Usually at this point we toast with lemonade, but since we are in your home, we're tasting with beer. So toast to you and
cheers.
Happy Veterans Day.
You want to get in this? All right, cheers.
Oh, that's fun times.
That's it?
Yeah,
that was the shortest podcast I ever done.
It is. Yeah, we keep it short and sweet and straight to the point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but nah, man, it's fun times. Thank you for having us. It's one of.
Oh, okay.
Continue talking about the heads. Like, yeah, I got into a whole debate over this about like, who kisses.
Well, I thought it was funny because obviously I'm Navy, you Army, and this Marines. I'm like, this could go wrong real quick.
Under the net, like, which head are you talking about?
Right.
I think with one, but
So I was like, oh man.
No, it could definitely.
Y'all trying to get me in trouble over here.
Sucks this pole's here. This light. You're a pole. Hold on. Let me.